And then of course no homestead would be complete without our guardians watching over our every move. Hey everyone, it's Poppy with Mimi and Poppy's Place. It's been quite a while since we made a little video here, well over a month I think, maybe 2 months. But we've been busy doing our garden, building some new beds, replacing some beds, had some lumber that we had to replace, doing our row crops, and of course taking care of our sheep and whatnot. But let me give you a little tour of our garden, what we have going on right now. Good morning, Ragamuffin. This is Buttercup, and that's her little baby Bo back there. As you can see, she's losing her winter coat. She's a Catadin hair sheep, so we won't have to shear her, won't have to clean her up. She'll just start losing all this. She brushed up against the fence and whatnot and scrapes all that off. She'll be looking skinny in no time. But here's our garden. Here's our raised bed garden. Got our bird feeders out. We've added some new plants. And we've watched a lot more grow. We've got our thyme. We've got some chamomile going on right here. Some spearmint, salvia, oregano, sage, which is blooming. We've never seen it bloom. More salvia, more thyme, more salvia, more salvia, some lavender, and our new rosemary. I think I killed our last year's rosemary, but so we got another one. But we have our new boxes. We've used our landscape timbers to replace 2x6s that we did have, so we can make bigger beds, deeper beds, and also this way, whenever we go to weed eat and mow around it, we're not throwing all the grass on top of it and helping to seed it with weeds and whatnot. But this is our zucchini. We've already got some zucchini going there. Cabbage, spinach, Brussels sprouts, yellow onion right there, bok choy cabbage, that is kale and giant chard. This is our basil. We're going to put some sweet banana peppers in here that we have growing as well. White onion, red Russian kale, which is going to Bolton, is going to seed. Our spaghetti squash, which I think we're already getting one of those as well. Red Swiss chard right here. Eggplant. These are our strawberries. Had some die off, but luckily they vined out and made some more plants. Been harvesting these, just getting a handful every day now. Our yellow straight neck squash, which we are getting several of them already. More strawberries, and all these strawberries actually came from our original set. We originally bought 8 strawberries, and whenever they get done fruiting, they vine out, touch ground, they start making new plants. So we have, I think there's 11 or 12 in this bed and 11 or 12 in the other bed, and we started out with 8. These are tomatoes. These are Atkinson tomatoes. This is our new long bed that we built. We had issues with them last year because they grow up so big and they bush out so big that we had them too tight. So we had a decent amount of rot, and we had a hard time staking them because they bush out so wide. So here we decided just to do them in rows of 2, and using these gates and T-posts we put up, so this way we can actually just take jute and just tie them around to the actual fence, and it'll make it a lot easier to stake these up to support these for the weight. This is our Louisiana purple hull beans. They can be a dry bean or similar to a green bean. They'll come all the way up these arches. They'll grow all the way through the top. So this is a bed of them, and that is a bed of them as well back there. This year we finally planted us some asparagus. So this came from bare root, 2-year-old, so we should be able to harvest it next year. But the asparagus grows up, leaves out like that, but this is comes out, looking like an asparagus first, but can't harvest it, gotta wait till next year. Our teepees here, this is cucumbers that we have there. More salvia there that you see blooming. These are rattlesnake beans, and they're now starting to finally bloom. But these are striped. They have a little purple in them. They're striped. When they cook up, they lose all their color, all their purple color, and they turn green, just like a green bean. Or you can dry them, let them dry, and they're just like a pinto bean. Same consistency, look. You cook them up just like a pinto bean. But we have 2 arches of those going as well. Here on this TP we have gourds, and this is our volunteer box as well. So in our volunteer box, this is everything that we had growing up last year that seeded, fell in, whatnot. So here's some gourds, and all of our gourds are volunteers from our compost bin, from a gourd from last year. Cilantro, marigolds, dill, giant California zinnia flowers. Through here, more dill, more cilantro, more zinnias, and gourds. The marigolds that we have planted here were actual volunteers from the other box. Those are our sweet peppers there on the right there. These are all Atkinson tomatoes. They're heirloom tomatoes. These are all volunteers as well. These came straight out of our compost bin from, if you saw any of our pictures or whatnot last year, from the salsa we made, how I would cut them and let them drain, shake a lot of the excess water out of them. I would dump the water and the seeds in the compost bin. Well, these are the tomatoes from that. We have some container carrots growing right here as well. These are volunteer blueberries that we have growing on the property. Our neighbor has a large blueberry bush. They've vined over, birds have deposited seeds, and so we've dug them up and had them in the containers for a year now, making sure they get rooted well. But these are volunteer blueberries. More zinnias and marigolds that are volunteers. There's some more chamomile that we have going. New box we've also added here is This one's just for carrots. We put this 4 landscape timbers high, make it pretty deep for the carrots. But these will be Denver carrots. And then we moved our trellises. We cut them in half. They were 2 sections wide. We've cut them in half and moved them up here. And the grandkids helped us come over and plant these. And these are our sweet peas. And they are just a growing along. They kind of get water runoff and some natural fertilizer from the chickens and the sheep. And these are just some ligustrums that didn't work out last year. We dug them back up, try to move them around. A magnolia that I'm going to plant on the property. This was actually taken from one of the fence lines when we cleared out. And then these gorgeous things, which I thought were some type of trillium that we have found on the property and on the roadways along here. And actually turns out this is called a zigzag spiderwort. But it's grows beautiful, blooms every morning, every evening they close up and like go to seed. But every morning they open up. I kept telling Mimi that I felt we were behind. We were behind this spring. We were working very frantically to do a lot of things, and we had a lot of bad cold weather come in right there at the end of March. And so I kept thinking we were behind, and we weren't, because we had to wait on the weather. So we didn't get planted till middle of the first week of April, because we actually had some deep freezing temperatures come through. Very, very freakish for South Alabama in the end of March. But we did finally get our row crop planted. I think around the 4th of April, and I'll take you a little tour of that as well. So I had bush hogged our row crop area from last year. We just let it grow up. Bush hogged it, let it taking down all the old sunflower stems and corn stalks and all that, and then use the box blade to kind of scrape that up and get that out of the way. Then as the grass and all started to grow up, used some Roundup and got rid of that, let it sit, and then I went through and I disced it. And I've disced it a couple of times, but it doesn't just get that smooth. I don't have the greatest disc. But our neighbor over there, you see the red barn over there, has a tiller attachment for a tractor, and he lets me use it. He did last year, did this year. Makes it absolutely wonderful, because our garden here is our row crop garden is about 1/4 of an acre, and we were able to till it up in 15, 20 minutes, maybe 20 minutes. I was able to get this thing tilled up. Ran over it a couple of times, able to get it tilled up, and then ready to be planted. We planted the next morning. It was wonderful. But what I'd planted first was our potatoes. We have our red potatoes that we have here. They've been growing wonderfully. Last year we just had a small bag. I think we had 10 pounds of potatoes, and we got 72 pounds off of it. And we had 3 rows, just 3 rows in our above ground, or our raised bed garden area. This year we went longer, went bigger, so we can get a little bit more harvest. We planted the same amount of green beans. We have 4 rows here, but we spaced them out so we could get to them better. I try to put 2 rows back to back. I didn't space them out wide enough, and we really fought the grass and fought trying to get in between there. Couldn't even fit a bucket hardly in between the rows. So this way, this will let me run through here with a push mower and a bagger and just take that up, and then also allow us to go through here with buckets and seats when we go to harvest. This is our corn. Last year was our first year really getting corn or growing corn. We do peaches and cream corn. We planted less this year than we did last year, but last year we also we planted way more than we needed, but we only were able to harvest maybe a quarter of it due to Tropical Storm Cristobal that not only laid it over but dumped 13 inches of rain on it. So we were then infested with silkworms or silk maggots that was taking the corn. So we were trying to harvest it as fast as we could. Hopefully this year will be a lot better. We have our mammoth sunflowers. These can grow up to 9-10 foot tall. Love these. We don't really harvest the seeds. We just let the birds have them, let them draw the pollinators into the area, and then we watch the cardinals and all get on top of the flowers, eat the seeds. They knock down seeds, and then the dove come down below and get those up. Right here, just starting to come up, but we have some sweet potatoes. You can faintly see the 3 lines right there. That's our okra. It'll come up later. It's not a big spring crop, but it's a summer crop, and it'll last all summer. It'll keep putting on. Last year we just stopped picking, and we left a lot of okra on the stalks there, but or on the plant. But we're hoping to get a little bit more this year. New to being out here in our row crop area, we have some cantaloupe right here. The rest of this is all Charleston gray watermelon. And then this is sugar pie pumpkin that we had in the greenhouse planted. And then behind that is all the seeds that we just additionally added to make a whole line for sugar pie pumpkins. We'll harvest these, really harvest them, puree them, and can them just for the dogs. We use this in their diet all year for added fiber. We'll see if there's a little bitty one going right there. Another one starting to form right there. Oh. But additionally, last winter we planted ligustrums. We wanted them for added privacy hedge along the fence line, but we also picked ligustrum because they bloom out so well. They're so fragrant, and the bees just love these. It really brings in the pollinators. It's very wet this morning. I'm not seeing much right now, but in the afternoons we'll go for a walk here, and this will be loaded with bumblebees, honeybees, which we don't have honeybees, but they are around. But let's take you over to the orchard. Well, in our orchard, unfortunately, we never did cover up our plants, our trees, and we had pretty much a mild winter until the end of winter, beginning of spring, and then it got real cold, bone-chilling cold, and we lost all 4 of our Owari satsumas. So all of them, and looking now to try to replace those. I mean, it's a loss. It's money. Don't really want to buy satsumas or buy any type of tree and then lose them and then buy them again and buy them again. So we're kind of debating that or a different variety of satsuma. You know, y'all give us a suggestion. What's a great satsuma for our climate down here, South Alabama? It's not South Florida, you know, where it's going to stay a lot warmer all year. But you know, if y'all have any suggestions, let us know. And here we have our blueberries. And on those 3 posts right there, we have our trellised muscadines, which I grew from seed from local muscadines that were harvested. But here we're actually hoping to get a decent amount of blueberries this year. These are Tiffany blue blueberries. And these are our premier blueberries. And then these are Brightwell blueberries. And we've seen and heard that if you wanted to have a really good harvest on blueberries, you needed different varieties. And I wasn't sure why that was, but when we talked to the gentleman that we bought these blueberries from last year over at Dixon Nursery in Agricola, Mississippi, he explained that due to the different varieties of blueberries, they bloom and fruit at different times. So it's not so much that you need different varieties to be able to pollinate. It's so this way you have a longer crop, a longer season. So we can have 15 blueberry bushes here and not have to worry about harvesting all of them as they get larger within a certain window, a certain time frame. We can actually have blueberries for a longer season and not have to really work ourselves and allow to work in other areas of the homestead. So these are the premier. You see them, they're starting to turn color. But then these are the Brightwells. You can see they are still green. They're still green and growing. So we'll definitely be harvesting different varieties at different times. These are our fig trees. We've not had much luck with them. They die off, come right back, die off, come right back. We've yet to harvest a fig, but we will keep trying. But what we're really excited about are our peach trees. Once again, we're still learning, we're not pro homesteaders. We've just started this journey 2 years ago. We've lost one of our peach trees, and we're not sure if it was due to the frost. These are 2 years old, but like it's wanting to come back, but I think we're just going to go ahead and, since it's just at the trunk and we have suckers, we're going to go ahead and take this up and look at planting another one here. These are Red Haven peaches, but the other trees are doing well. And we're really hoping that we can at least get a handful of peaches. We understand it's going to take a while to let these establish, but I mean, they are sun-kissed, turning already. So we're really hoping to get something this year on these. Oh, little rain shower driving us in. Sheep do not like the rain, so as soon as it goes to rain, they start heading to the stalls. Well, that's it for us for right now. As you can tell, it's a lot just for 2 of us to do and work on. Constructing new boxes, filling those boxes in with new soils and amending soils. Able to maintain the livestock, doing the row crops, the orchard, and then also just maintaining the property, working fence lines, cleaning fence lines. It's a lot of work, but it's also a lot of love doing it. Well, guys, thanks for watching the video here, Mimi Poppy's Place. If you like the video, go down, hit like. If you would, share it, get the word out on our little homestead. Hopefully, try to start making some more videos here and try to give at least a a weekly video. This way we can show a little update as we start harvesting, and then hopefully next month in June we'll start canning. We'll show you some of our changes to our outdoor kitchen then too, and we'll see y'all around. Y'all take care.